Bering Sea Gold exclusive. The Elim locals are shooting at the Kelly Dredge's Bering Sea Gold Day on Discovery, and the TV show's exclusive clip is a hot one, featuring the series' bad boys, the Kelly clan. This Friday's episode of Bering Sea Gold is loaded with a real surprise, and the Kelly clan are the ones in the crosshairs. Apparently, in Elim, Alaska, firing off guns is no big deal if you suspect someone is taking your beach gold. And the Kellys are always up to something. Please take a look to see how it goes when Brad and Andy Kelly start dredging in Elim in hopes of finding the ultimate gold payoff. We hear gunshots as the Kelly crew suddenly realizes that they are the intended target. Things take a turn for the worse when they face gunfire from some angry locals who have amassed at the shore and are taking aim. Brad gets the dredge set up and in business as Andy suits up. Andy says, "And finally, after embarrassing ourselves right in front of the town, we're going to hopefully get down there and find some of the best gold I've ever seen, and I don't care if they're staring at me. They can stare at me while I'm getting gold and making my fortune all day long amused," Brad says. They're yelling something. They're pissed off because they see that dredge now. "We're gonna make this work today. Oh yeah." Then the distinct gunshots are heard. Brad yells at Eddie and Andy to get down as the guns keep firing. Elim is found on the northwest shore of Norton Bay on the Seward Peninsula, 96 miles east of Nome. Approximately 460 miles northwest of Anchorage, the township is part of the Cape Nome Recording District. Tiny, it is only 2 square miles. According to ExploreNorth.com, this settlement was formerly the Malimut Inupiat Eskimo village of Nuviakchak. The area became a federal reindeer reserve in 1911. In 1914, Reverend Eli Ost founded a Covenant mission and school called Elim Mission Roadhouse. When the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act, ANCSA, passed in 1971, Elim decided not to participate and instead opted for title to the 298,000 acres in the former Elim Reserve. The Iditarod sled dog race passes through Elim each year. Brad Kelly, seen driving the boat in our clip, is the patriarch of the Kelly family. Brad Kelly has wreaked years of havoc on Nome's Gullible and the Kelly family name, according to his official biography. Discovery notes, Brad brought his sons to Nome to get rich quick, but 5 years in the 3 Kellys haven't even come close. Loyal to a fault, sons Chris and Andy haven't abandoned Brad yet. They have appeared on the series since Season 2 premiered in 2012. His sons are Chris and Andy Kelly, who are also divers alongside their dad. Show observers consider Andy Kelly to be their premier diver and prospector. In past seasons, Andy sided with his mother Wendy in her decades-long acrimonious split with dad Brad. The onus this season is on Andy to find the gold needed to keep their operation afloat, and not full of bullet holes. Bering Sea Gold airs Friday, April 30 at 9 p.m. ET/PT on Discovery and streaming on Discovery+. Bering Sea Gold exclusive. The Elim locals are shooting at the Kelly Dredge in the rugged, icy waters off the coast of Alaska, where gold mining and unpredictable weather collide. The Kelly Dredge, one of the most iconic machines on the hit Discovery Channel show Bering Sea Gold, has found itself embroiled in a fierce controversy. What was once a symbol of the relentless pursuit of gold now faces an escalating conflict involving the local community of Elim. This remote Alaskan village, known for its subsistence hunting, fishing, and deep ties to the land, is making waves after reports surfaced that residents have begun shooting at the Kelly Dredge. The Kelly Dredge is a multi-million-dollar piece of equipment used in the high-stakes search for gold along the floor of the Bering Sea. It is operated by the Kelly family, a staple name in the world of Alaskan gold dredging. They're no strangers to conflict, particularly with environmental regulations, local laws, and other dredging teams. But the situation with Elim locals has taken a dangerous and unexpected turn. A bitter divide. Gold rush versus traditionate. The heart of the conflict is a clash between modern gold prospecting and the traditional ways of the native Alaskan communities that have lived in the region for centuries. Elim, like many other villages along Alaska's coast, relies heavily on the bounty of the ocean and the land for subsistence. Fishing, hunting, and gathering are not just practices, they are ways of life that tie the community to its ancestors and its future. The Kelly Dredge, as viewers of Bering Sea Gold will know, is designed to operate in the frigid waters of the Bering Sea. The dredge uses large suction equipment to vacuum the seafloor in search of precious gold. The massive, noisy vessel disturbs the water, churning up sediment and debris in its wake. While the crew may be chasing after gold, for the residents of Elim, the Bering Sea represents more than just a source of income. It is their lifeblood, providing fish, seals, and other marine life that sustain them. The dredging process, they argue, is devastating to the marine habitats and the fishing grounds they depend on. The noise, the disruption, and the alteration of the water's composition pose a direct threat to fish stocks and other important food sources. It's a battle over access to resources, a struggle between economic growth driven by the gold rush mentality and the preservation of traditional ways that have been in place for generations. Tensions began to rise when local hunters and fishers noticed a decrease in the number of fish and other marine creatures in their nets, a sign that the dredging was having a lasting impact. As dredging operations ramped up, so did local frustration. But nothing could have prepared the Kelly family for what happened next. A series of gunshots aimed at the Kelly Dredge. Though no one was injured in the incidents, the shots served as a stark warning from the people of Elim. The shooting incident, a cry for help, it was early morning when the crew of the Kelly Dredge first heard the gunfire. The shots rang out from a distance, but their intention was clear. This was not an accident. The residents of Elim were sending a message. The dredge crew reported hearing at least 4 separate rounds fired from a high vantage point, likely from a nearby bluff or hilltop. Though no bullets struck the dredge, the crew immediately understood the gravity of the situation. The local law enforcement was called in, and an investigation was launched to determine who was behind the gunfire. For the Kelly family, this was a sobering moment. They have always walked a fine line between the modern world of gold mining and the harsh realities of Alaska's wilderness. But now they were facing direct hostility from the community they've been trying to engage with. For Elim, the shooting wasn't a random act of violence. It was a statement of frustration and desperation. Many locals feel that their voices have been ignored for too long. Over the years, they have watched as outsiders, often large corporations or wealthy individuals, take what they want from the land, without regard for the impact on the local population. It's a sentiment that has been growing in Elim, where residents feel that they have been sidelined in favor of industrial ventures that strip away the resources they hold sacred. While the shooting itself was an isolated incident, it highlighted a much deeper issue. A growing divide between the people of Elim and the gold miners who continue to expand their operations along the Bering Sea. The Kelly family's Responsi de Kelly family has a long history of perseverance. Throughout the years on Bering Sea Gold, they faced all sorts of challenges, technical breakdowns, fierce competition, and harsh weather conditions. But this new challenge, involving gunfire and the threat of violence, is different. In an exclusive interview with Bering Sea Gold crew members, the Kellys expressed a mixture of shock and concern over the situation. "We've always respected the locals here," said one of the Kelly family members, who preferred to remain unnamed due to the ongoing investigation. "We know that dredging affects the environment, and we've taken steps to mitigate that. But we never expected this kind of reaction." Despite their position in the gold mining industry, the Kellys have been keen on portraying themselves as environmental stewards. They argue that the methods they use to dredge the ocean floor are as responsible as possible, given the nature of their work. The Kelly dredge uses advanced filtration systems to separate gold from sediment, and they claim that they strive to limit the environmental damage their operations cause. However, these claims ring hollow for many in Elim. To them, the damage is already done, whether or not the Kellys believe they're being responsible. The dredging is altering the delicate marine ecosystems, and that's a risk they're simply not willing to take. A divided community. The larger contextual conflict between Elim and the Kellys isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a larger trend of growing tension between Alaska's indigenous populations and the mining industries that have moved into their territories. From oil drilling to gold mining, natural resource extraction has been a source of significant strain in many Alaskan communities. In fact, the conflict in Elim reflects a broader sense of alienation felt by many Native Alaskan communities. Many feel that their needs and concerns are consistently overlooked in favor of industries that promise economic growth but often fail to deliver tangible benefits to the people who live there. The tensions between the Kelly dredge and Elim's residents also underscore the economic reality of gold mining in Alaska. While some locals are hopeful that the